Accumulating professional capital in one industry generates immense momentum, but swinging that momentum across industry boundaries often results in a significant loss of force. Standard job search advice assumes a candidate is starting from zero. For senior professionals, relying on generic portals ignores the specific leverage you have already built. Executing a high-level career pivot is a structural engineering task. It involves aligning existing value with a new environment that does not yet recognize it. The goal is specific. Transfer your accumulated leverage into a new sector while maintaining your seniority and economic standing. This matrix illustrates the first phase, strategic alignment. A single career vector is broken down into distinct verified market pathways. The second phase is asset translation. This process redraws your historical data nodes to match the specific technical nomenclature of the target sector. Success requires penetrating the hidden job market to bypass standard application funnels and utilizing a protocol to mitigate the hiring manager's perceived risk. Mastering these 4 operational phases shifts a career jump from a risky endeavor into a managed professional transition. A transition fails when there is a lack of intersectionality between what you want to do, what the market needs, and what you can actually execute. The strategic alignment matrix begins with these 2 nodes: internal drive and market demand. You must have the stamina for the role, and the sector must have a genuine need for the work. Economic viability dictates the boundaries. If the new industry cannot meet your financial threshold, the pivot is not viable. Transferable competency completes the interlocking diagram. It is the foundation of the mid-career move. Senior transitions rely on mapping proven skills to new problems. You are applying existing expertise to a different context. Filter every potential role through these 4 nodes. Only the opportunities that satisfy every intersection are worth your resources. The strategic alignment matrix acts as a filter. It ensures the target market is viable before you send a single application. Once a target is verified, you face the initial screening. Recruiters typically spend roughly 6 seconds scanning your profile for relevancy. Before human review occurs, the Applicant Tracking System, or ATS, functions as a digital gatekeeper for the candidate pool. This funnel demonstrates how ATS software utilizes keyword matching. It sorts applicants by identifying specific string patterns, deflecting anything that fails to match the programmed criteria. Mismatched terminology results in automatic rejection. The system scans for exact strings rather than inferring underlying competence. You must strip away all internal legacy jargon from your past roles. Your language must match the standard terminology of the target industry. Treat your resume as a targeted marketing document. Strike through the historical biography and highlight data nodes that solve current market problems. Listing basic responsibilities is insufficient. You must communicate tangible impact. Every bullet point follows this formula. Action plus metric equals outcome. Quantifiable, data-driven achievements are the universal language of high-level hiring. They provide the evidence required to bridge industry gaps. You take these proven successes and explicitly map them onto the pain points currently facing your target industry. A properly engineered CV bypasses algorithms. It speaks the exact language the system is programmed to find. High-value roles rarely reach public job boards. Companies often hire through internal channels to reduce the financial cost and operational risk of a public search. Relying on the traditional application funnel is a low-probability strategy. Most hiring occurs within closed network clusters. Penetrating these isolated company clusters requires the use of weak ties. These are the colleagues and acquaintances who exist outside your immediate social circle. Weak ties bridge the gap between networks. They provide a direct pathway from your current circle into separate industry clusters. You leverage these pathways through speculative, direct outreach. Identify the decision makers, the operational leads who actually own the problem, and send a concise, direct message. A senior executive's attention is captured by a clear value proposition. State exactly how your past experience solves their current business friction. This process elevates you above the random data points in a funnel. You arrive at the table as a bespoke, peer-level solution. Senior hiring is rarely a search for the objectively optimal candidate. It is a search for the safest outcome. The interview is a psychological exercise in risk management. Hiring managers are driven to avoid the cost and embarrassment of a bad hire. The scale is weighed down by this perceived risk. A jagged career path increases this risk. Your non-linear background represents an unknown variable the manager must defend to superiors. You counter this by framing the pivot as a competent, de-risked return on investment. The interviewer views the prompt, "Tell me about yourself," as an alignment test. They are checking for specific indicators rather than a chronological life story. Use a structure of present, past, and future. State your current expertise, provide past metrics as evidence, and describe a logical future trajectory terminating at this specific role. When asked why you are leaving your current role, provide a diagnostic answer. Show that you are pursuing growth rather than avoiding a conflict. The biggest weakness question is a stress test for professional maturity. A generic answer like perfectionism signals a lack of self-awareness. Demonstrate growth by naming a real weakness and detailing the systemic steps you have implemented to manage it. Mastering the interview means neutralizing the manager's fear. You prove you are the safest, most logical bet on the table. Transitioning to a new industry requires adopting its specific nomenclature and addressing its pain points. This unified architecture integrates the 4 phases: strategic alignment, asset translation, network leverage, and risk mitigation. Luck and passive hope are incompatible with the senior career transition. The execution of this architecture alters how the market perceives your value. You control the narrative. Success requires a specific psychological state. You cease viewing yourself as a risky outsider and operate as a highly engineered solution, locking into place with mechanical finality. A successful mid-career pivot is the result of the calculated, systematic execution of professional leverage.